For my next exciting trick, I'm going to get rid of the pews so that I can use this platform as a workspace. This here is just a bit of MDF. I don't know why I have it. I must have been on the boat all the time. Anyway, it's going in the trash. It's not going to be used. But it gave me an idea when I shoved it here. I want to make a template because here in the corner is a kitchen worktop given to me by Barry. Barry sold me his stove and when it was being picked up, donated this worktop, which is solid oak. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to dowel it together and then it will be this kitchen top. So to make this easy on myself, I'm going to make a template out of one single sheet of plywood. Well, if I make a template out of plywood, well, plywood's expensive. Why would I throw it away afterwards? Why not use it as the foundation and raise up the oak panel? It'll be raised up by maybe a centimetre above the sink, and that will act as a thingamajig to make sure that the water doesn't go beyond, so any water that does splash anywhere will be going back into the sink. Especially here where I cut this away, so the water will splash and want to go that way. But if I build it up and have the oak higher, I can cut it into that, glue it in, and then that'll be fine. My wood is down there and it's so large that I'm probably going to have to put the pews, just stack them up here to get them out of the way. Flush up against the sink being there. We just mark it underneath, cut it out, drop it in. Thanks for the stove that keeps me warm, Barry. Thank you for the oak worktop that I'm making, and thank you for the Bosch jigsaw, which I'm using to cut all of this with. There on the edge there's a chamfer, so I'm going to have to slice that away. I need to fill in this, so this is what the template is for, because I have all of this wood here, and I'm going to dowel and glue the whole thing together and have a piece that will come around the front here as well. This tool makes sure your dowels are always in the right place. You place it on the piece of wood and you give it a twist and you are dead center in the middle of the wood because you have done that small turn. The dowel is in the tube, and then I bring that up, tighten down the knob. You're going to be doweling it like that. So you need varnished on varnished. And now I'm going to clamp them together. Here at the front of the contraption there are those grooves and slots nicely on that. And now you have your hole exactly where you need it. Just drill. Oh well, I didn't drill the holes deep enough. My totally foolproof plan obviously didn't work. But this is my first attempt, and at least the join is spot on. So from the point of view of getting it to match, it's perfect. This tool is great.
Well, I'm just going to have to separate them by using the multi-tool. I'll let them dry out and then I'll rebore them tomorrow.
Alrighty, I'm back again. So this time we're going to glue it and we're going to do it right. It's incredible considering I've been just using hand tools and my eye. Every single one of them lined up perfectly and hammered in. If I had a table saw, I could get that to be a seamless line. But I don't. And to be fair, I don't mind that there's a little line there. I'm going to sand all of this away. I'm going to fill that in. And everything's going to look fabulous. Another 1/2 mil. Nice. Okay, now I've got to take out that chunk. So I'm going to put a piece of wood here as well. I need to join that. And as you can see, it's a very dirty cut. I need to gouge out more material under here so that I can drag it forward, then cut off the end to make it a nice clean finish, and then dowel that, and then it'll realign itself at the end. Okay, that's moved up a little bit, and we are now overlapping, so we have that much to remove off there. So now everything's doweled up and ready to go. So my template is also my foundation, and I'm just going to screw it down, and then when I put the oak on top, I'm going to screw from underneath, and that will, well, make everything solid. But this is where it gets interesting. To make sure that the water always flows out, I have shimmed this so it's at a slant. This bit here is much deeper because that's level, but this is sitting up. So I have to now put the big board in and I have to shim it so that it looks like it's level. And you can see the oak is following the line of the sink. You can see in there's a gap underneath the wood and the plywood. So I have to fill that. This fell off and I need to reattach it in. But I'm also going to need to support it. And I'm going to use these 2 bits of wood. It fits in just nicely underneath. So now I have to bring this to go around the end and down the front. So it has to be rested on something. So I'm adding in some more wood there. This one's temporary until I can come up with a better plan. I'm adding plywood now to raise up the level, and this has now the little sheet here. This is a temporary piece of wood. This is just to do the adjustment, but you can see that it's a little bit higher and it's on a slant. I'm using it just to hold up this temporarily. These will all get screwed together and then the whole thing will come together. Here's the fridge, so the fridge door needs to be able to open up. I'll end up replacing that with a nicer piece of wood for the finish here. But in the meantime, it's about getting this leveled up. So if you see now, the lip doesn't look so offensive. It sort of looks the same, even though it's now bowing up. And it's the same now on this side as well. So now we just need to finish by putting another piece there. So I have these. Right, I've been trying to think long and hard about this. I need to put my cooker hob oven on that. My initial plan was to put the hob there to there, sort of lined up with that. But then I realized, well, if you got like stuff and this counter is going to be useful and you got stuff draining over there, that might actually be better to move the cooker here, and then you line up with this bit, sort of, so you have a piece of countertop on that side, the cooker in the middle of the counter, and then another bit of countertop. What that immediately means is that you have a small narrow set of drawers there, your oven, and then another small narrow set of drawers. But if I put it somewhere in the middle, I can put my vent up here to extract steam out, and it'll just pop up through there. I also, for the getting rid of steam, I have that window that opens as well. I have to make my decision, because once I cut into the countertop, that's it, it's permanent. So what I think I'm going to do is cut my battens that I need for here, and then sort of move them around and see how it looks. So these are the exact dimensions of the oven width. It's lined up and it's nice and square. That's just over a foot. So it's about 31.5 centimeters. So I can make drawers there. And I have the same here. There's the sink. So we'll have exactly to there. And then that to here is going to be the oven. So imagine the book here is exactly where the oven is, or the cooker and the hob is going to be. It has a lid which opens up. It's lined up so that when the top lifts up, it doesn't obstruct the window. The maximum height above the flame is 1/2 meter, which is about there. So there's plenty of height. So it's not going to be a fire risk. I initially thought this would be very complex and difficult to do, but I think it's going to be a bit easier. Right, I have marked off exactly how much needs to be cut out. Well, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to cut it. Finally, cut that out, and that should fit in there.
Well, my stupidity came to the fore again.
The good news is the mistake I've made is it's too short. So it should actually go all the way back into here. So it needs to be pushed back further. I need to support it from underneath.